training partners. Here come your training partners. So smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners.
Team, welcome to Training Partners, where two fitness professionals bring you strong takes held loosely. I'm Weezy Shoemaker, joined as always by Justin McClintock. And today will be my turn to shout at you.
Yeah, I'm excited because there's several things that have been teed up, but I don't know much about them.
That's right. Before I start yelling, which I do need to preface this with, that I have literally not a single note for today. Not a one.
Oh, no! Oh, that's way more. If this is your first episode, that's bad news in a fun way.
This is bad news.
Yeah.
This is bad news. This is
just mad mom walking into a school looking for a principal.
This is
it's all about to happen.
Right. This is the equivalent of like when you notice your mom walking around the house with an empty laundry basket. Like, oh, some shit's about to happen here.
Uh-oh.
How are you, friend?
I'm good. The weather's cooperating. We had like 15 hours of 55-degree rain that really like cleared the snow away. So there's like grass and stuff, and that's pretty cool.
Sure.
Shoulder is progressing. It's all right. Everything's kind of okay.
Love it. And you rearrange your gym some so that you have slightly more usable space.
Yep. It feels less claustrophobic. Anything, because it's such a small space, anything that makes even a small area feel a little less crowded actually has a pretty big impact.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. I'm thinking about, I feel like I've been in sustained long enough now that I'm starting to notice like, okay, what might I shift a little bit? Like we moved the landmines. And I'm considering getting some more equipment, but then that means it needs a place to live. Where could that place be? Right.
Yep.
Starting to think about those things, but it is fun when you realize, oh, this could be done a little differently, maybe a little better. Love it.
Yeah.
Sick.
What are you married to out of function or logistics? And
Right.
it turns out not a lot. You can actually
Not a
move
lot.
all kinds of stuff all over the place.
Right. You can actually like just do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even that hard and often doesn't take that long.
Right. So before we get into it, I have a story to tell you about something that happened today.
I'm so excited. I've been getting like updates throughout the day of like, oh my God, I did this thing. Oh my God, it seriously can't wait to tell you about it. Like 40 minutes later, like, holy shit, it got worse. And that's all I know.
So I started therapy today.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a really good fit. Like we haven't flipped the switch and I'm not fixed. I don't have all the new tools that I require, but I think it's a good fit. We speak a similar language and I feel understood by her and supported. However, starting therapy can come with some negative connotations to it. Like it's inherently or can be scary, intimidating, uncertain, all the things. So I decided to trick myself into enjoying therapy by going out for lunch to a neighboring place before my visits, right? I'm seeing her every other week. I have slotted the 1:00 appointment time. Excellent. Wonderful.
Cool.
I can go and have lunch and then go to my appointment.
I like this.
So I am there eating alone, and they're really pretty large portions of food.
Okay.
And I'm eating at a big, long table where, like, I am alone, but there are other parties flanking me on either side.
I gotcha.
And they are there with people. And so I made sure, like, hey, is it okay if I sit here? You're like, yeah, absolutely, totally. They're both on lunch dates. Excellent. I'm really only sitting there eating for like 15, 20 minutes. Like I'm not there very long. And I pack up all my stuff and I turn to walk to go to the bathroom. And the person that's sitting immediately next door to me turns to me and goes, oh, hungry girl. And I went. And then I didn't say anything. I just then walked to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And came back and got my drink because I didn't want to bring my drink with me into the bathroom.
Sure.
And then left. And it was like, wow, that's when I sent you that initial text of something has happened.
I mean, that is very funny, but I also think it's kind of an excellent response because, first of all, what the fuck? To a different kind of person who is a little less secure, that could have really been unpleasant or had an impact or done something fucked up.
Yeah, right.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Just all right, you want to make it weird? Let's make it weird.
Let's make it weird. Don't worry, I'm an expert at making it weird.
Yes.
So then I walk over to my therapy appointment because it is close enough that I can do that.
Okay.
And I am sitting in the lobby and I'm waiting there for a little while. And who comes out of the elevator?
Oh my God.
And looks at me and goes, and then just keeps walking.
My guy.
It was honestly it could have been in an episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, and you would have been like, well, this doesn't happen. Yeah, if that was on TV, you'd be like, okay, well, this is fine for a 3-camera sitcom, but this doesn't
happen. It happened to me today.
I'm just glad they didn't walk into the therapist office and also sit down waiting.
No,
we're going to do this every other week together, right?
Right. No, they definitely worked in the building, which maybe makes it worse.
But yeah, they won't remember you in 2 weeks.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I was just trying to make you feel better. I can't.
What if they get lunch there every Wednesday? What if that's part of their Wednesday routine? I'm fucked.
Could totally be a thing.
Hungry girl.
My God. What a thing to say to somebody. Get out of your mind. Jesus Christ.
But good news is that we can only a little bit see the bruise on my nose.
I was braced for you to ask to put this off or do something for whatever, which would sure, fine, whatever.
Sure.
Do you want to tell people about what you're talking about?
I would love to tell people what I'm talking about. So anybody who's not brand new to the podcast knows that I play pickleball, and I do so several times a week. That is my preferred form of cardio. And I am confidently intermediate.
Yeah.
I can play an advanced team and maybe not get pickled, which is the term for losing 11-0. And I can smoke a beginner team. And so confidently okay.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Right. And so Ted and I were playing on Monday night, as we are wont to do. And I truly, honestly, I could not tell you exactly how it happened, but I went to swing at the ball and somehow managed to hit myself in the face very hard with my paddle there, right on the bridge of my nose. And it was such a hard hit that I immediately dropped to the ground, started involuntarily crying. Did a couple of those.
You just mimed something. Did you get yourself with the edge?
I did.
Oh, that's so much worse.
I did. Yeah. And it's like a carbon paddle. It's not it's meant to it's not a beginner paddle. It's not the $300 Selkirk thing, but it's a decent paddle. We've talked about this, does gear matter, in the past. It's the paddle I bought to up my game because it has greater torque and velocity and blah, 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 whatever.
It can move very fast and hit very hard.
It hurt like a motherfucker to my face.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds terrible.
And so I'm grateful that symptoms are definitely improving. I played a little bit of pickleball this morning, and I played exactly 2 games.
Okay.
And no headache, no weird dizziness, no kind of residual effects. Nothing is worse. And so that to me is a clear, like, yellow light. We're moving in the right direction. Like, do your thing. But that entire night, we got home, we left after that game, even though we planned to play for longer. And I went straight to bed, like pounding headache, could not hang, not having a good time.
Super gross.
Super gross. So, I am recovering from damage, both mental, physical, and emotional from the last couple of days.
Across the board.
Right. Yeah. My therapist also asked me a question that I am to chew on for the next 2 weeks, which is going to be really easy to do. The question was, do you know the difference between being in relationship and observing a relationship, like analyzing a relationship?
That is a fantastic therapist question.
It's a great question. It's a great question. I literally screamed. I was like, what?
Yes. What are the odds you're dissociating right now?
What do you mean? It's like, do you like, what would it mean to allow yourself to just be a part of a relationship versus constantly psychoanalyzing it? I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean?
Yes. That's some homework. That's some homework right there.
Right. Yes. So we'll have to chew on, what does relationship mean? We'll figure it out.
That's a good one.
I will do all the research to figure out what a relationship is.
I'm going to say for you now, in case there's any follow-up and you don't feel like you have to say it, I think it's super cool that you're sharing about therapy and doing this and details about it. Weezy may or may not follow up on this. We may or may not include more details. We may or may not even recognize that this conversation ever happened. Or we might share a lot. Y'all can deal with it.
Yep.
There.
I will share only and exactly what I want to.
Exactly. We will not be forced, pimped, or goaded into sharing anymore.
No, correct. I say what I say of a free and clear mind and conscience. Conscience? Conscience. What?
I'm definitely clipping that and putting in front of all kinds of crazy shit in the future. So I appreciate that. That's going to be really useful.
You have my utmost permission to make the hungry girl into a something.
Perfect. Hungry girl.
What?
I mean, you didn't slap him. Like,
I didn't. I could have.
Yeah. And then you would have seen him 12 minutes later and been like, I'll do it. I got 2 hands.
So today,
Today,
as is sometimes true for episodes of Training Partners, we will talk about something that happened recently and a train of thought that it leads us down.
I love it.
And so I had a conversation with somebody within the last 10 days or so who is going to be working with Sustained. And we were framing their goals, right? What would success look like? What would need to be true in a year for you to feel like, yeah, I'm glad that I did that, right? And one of the things that they said, which I'm glad they were open to unpacking, and we're going to unpack a little bit now, was I'd really like to run again, but my doctor said that's dangerous and not to do that.
Ooh, boy. Yep.
And, you know, we don't have a rapport yet at that point. We haven't even really gotten to work. This is just us deciding if we should even take the next step in working together. And so I don't really have a ton of legs to stand on at this point. Yeah. And so what I said that I would like us to unpack and hopefully have a very organic discussion about, because again, I have absolutely no notes, not a single one. I said to her, may I ask you a question about that? She said, yes, of course. I said, do you think that the activity of running itself is dangerous? Or do you think it's possible that you are just unprepared for it right now? And she like, huh, can you say more about that? Yes, of course. For us to run, we have to have a certain amount of single leg strength, single leg balance, single leg coordination. We would want to make sure that we're rotating well and that the act of running does not create other problems for us. But if we can do, like, let's say, a number of single leg hops with good control and no symptoms, and some step ups and some single leg deadlifts, and you're able to still breathe while we're walking at a really vigorous pace, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to run unless your doctor can give us a very specific reason why you specifically should not do that.
Right.
And
Is
so
there
if that's
something we don't
something,
know about?
right, if that's something that you're interested in, it might be dangerous. It might be worth getting a little curious. And so then what this brought up for me as I was going about my life over the last 10 days or so are all the things that, whether it be a medical professional or just somebody on the street, might point at and say, that's dangerous. And wondering how different life might be if we took a step back from that rather than saying, oh, that's dangerous, and saying, I wonder what might need to be true for me to be prepared to do that thing.
Yep. I think it's a
Right.
great question. And honestly, I know we work pretty similarly, so this isn't going to be a shock to you, but that's how I approach almost anyone's goals.
Yeah.
Like, and I ask people for like the bigger and bigger, like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, I wish my shoulder didn't hurt. What do you really want? What would be
Yeah.
the thing that you would be like, oh my God, I didn't think this was possible. And sometimes that's a first consult question. Sometimes that comes up as whatever, 12, 16, 20 weeks in, where
Hmm.
we've checked off a lot of those initial goals. Now they're really inspired and seeing progress. You get to ask the follow-up, be like, so what's the next goal? What's like,
Right.
this is a cool mountain. What's that one over there?
Right.
And they lay out another thing, and I always think of it as reverse engineering, but
Hmm.
what are the things that would have to be true to make that happen? What
Right.
would we need to have in place? It's also the same checklist I use if someone wants to do something crazy and I think it's too early.
Right.
You're like, oh, yeah, I haven't thought about my knee for about 3 days. I'm going to go run a 5K. Time out. Have you done some step ups and single leg hops and walked at a vigorous pace? And like,
Right.
why don't we do those things first and make sure?
Right. Right. The the thing that really made it clear for me that this is something that I want us to talk about on the podcast is that in just a couple days after that conversation, a different client who is taking time away from CrossFit and perhaps transitioning permanently away
Okay.
from CrossFit, ready to do something different. We recently started working together as well. And she asked me a really, really interesting question, which was, hey, are kipping pull-ups dangerous?
Another great question.
And it's like, man, there is so much, like, I can't give you a solid answer because, spoiler, anything could be dangerous,
Yeah.
right? Like anything at all. If we peel literally everything back to what do I need to be able to do to be prepared for X thing, then it just becomes like, is X thing important enough to me to invest the time, energy, money, etc., in the pursuit of those pieces that make it not dangerous? Or am I comfortable doing the dangerous thing and acknowledging the risk that I'm actually not super prepared for this?
Yeah. And that preparation level is a huge part of it. Like, right, like almost any sport, anything that you would qualify as sport,
Yeah.
comes with more danger than everyday life.
Right.
And some of them come with a ton of danger. Most things that appear in the Olympics are also quite dangerous
Right.
for most people. But that doesn't come up a lot in the Olympics because those people are the best prepared on the planet,
Right.
incredibly well prepared. So it's not particularly dangerous for them. There's some risk involved with any kind of activity. They're very well prepared, where 95% of people would very likely get very hurt doing most of those activities.
Right, exactly. The thought that comes to mind for me as it relates over to the kipping pull-up example is like, yeah, that requires a pretty tremendous amount of flexibility, mobility, and strength from the shoulder. Otherwise, something else is going to give it to us.
Yep.
But you don't hear that conversation when it comes to like a golf swing, right? Or a kid playing on the monkey bars
Or swimming.
or swimming. They're in that perspective, they're fundamentally the same.
Yeah.
So then why does this one get such a bad rap
Mm-hmm.
and the other doesn't?
And the answer there, I mean, the answer with the kipping pull-ups is overwhelmingly because lots of people who are not adequately prepared are doing them a lot at a very high volume at a very high
Right.
intensity. And and being told by some degree of fitness professional that that's just fine.
Right. So in the least kind of like, let's give you a checklist type thing of let's give you a little bit of a checklist, right? If somebody comes to you and sees either something that you're doing or something that you were interested in doing and said, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's dangerous, right? That's risky. Pause, right? You don't want to immediately react and be like, you're a fucking idiot. Get out of here. Maybe you do. I don't know.
The correct answer is
Nah. But questioning, am I prepared for this? Right. And like, you don't need to justify anything to anybody, but I'm really thinking about, okay, what's the relationship between someone in a power imbalance, right? Like maybe it's a partner trying to convince another partner why they want to participate in X thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's you with a care provider.
Yep.
Maybe it's you with a boss, right? Maybe it's you with a parent. And maybe you decide, no, this is a relationship that is important to me and I would like to get them on my team about this.
Mm-hmm.
There is an opportunity for you to kind of be the coach.
Totally.
Right?
This is great.
Right. And to say something to the effect of, why do you feel that way? What do you feel is the risk here? Right. Or in the case of a medical professional, what particularly are you afraid of the outcome being in my case? Right. If they have no next sentence, that is your opportunity to say, that sounds like it's a perception that you're afraid of this and you're projecting that onto me. Is that fair?
Yes. It's also almost always when I hear those things that don't do that, it's dangerous. Don't run, it's dangerous. Don't deadlift, all right, it's bad for your back. Don't do these things. It comes from people who have seen lots of people, or at least heard of lots of people, but often with medical professionals, they've seen/treated a whole bunch of people who've gotten hurt doing this thing.
Right.
And instead of saying well, this is kind of a normal activity, all these people keep getting hurt, maybe these people aren't prepared, aren't strong enough, aren't coordinated enough, aren't whatever, usually some combination of things.
Right.
They shouldn't have been doing this yet. It goes to, well, if I say this is dangerous, these people won't do it and they won't get hurt. If I don't let anybody run,
Right.
anyone except someone who is like visually acceptable to me running, because I can, spoiler alert, when I walk into a doctor's office, they tell me to keep doing whatever the hell I'm doing and it's totally fine, which is completely unfair. It's just because it's visual perception thing. I'm hurt right now. But if I tell lots of people that not to run, running is dangerous, for any combination of things that I determine they probably shouldn't be running, then I will be avoiding injury for some of those people. That's the greater good. That's what we're going to go with. That's not wrong, but it's bad for an individual.
Right. Because you don't have any idea if the thing that you were saying they should not do is the exact thing that they would like to be doing.
It could be the thing that changes their life. Right? It could be, we've both gone through this probably a couple of times, and I've seen so many people who are like, wanted to get fit and want to do something and want activity, and then they fucking found it. And they found the CrossFit or the BJJ or the pickleball or the run club or the weightlifting or the power meet or whatever the thing was. and suddenly it lit a fire in them, and they were there 5 days a week, and they were disciplined, and their sleep got better, and their nutrition got better, and their mood got better, and they found someone, and they fell in love, and everything started going the right direction because they found the thing that worked for them.
Right.
You never want to douse that flame before they get to it.
Right. But my Uncle Ned told me at Thanksgiving in 2022 that CrossFit is dangerous and I'm going to tear my rotator cuff.
Yeah. And maybe. You might be unprepared for, especially in a thing as wide-ranging as CrossFit. Like, would I take someone off the street and let them snatch a barbell? No. That might be really dangerous.
Right.
And if I were to do that, I would just say it is dangerous because I don't know enough.
Right.
I don't have the information yet to determine that it's a good idea. And now you have to, play that little professional game of, well, I don't want to gatekeep this.
Right.
But I don't want to let them jump off the cliff before I've tested how deep the water is. We need a couple of steps. And that's where this reverse engineering, these boxes that you set up, come in.
Exactly. This makes me think of the CrossFit Open workout it might have been 2017, 2018. For people who don't know what that is, the CrossFit Open is a yearly remote competition that many who are at CrossFit Affiliates, which is a licensed CrossFit facility, participate in. That is one of the mechanisms by which somebody can qualify for the CrossFit Games, which is like CrossFit's Olympics, right?
Yeah. The intention is that we're going to publish this thing. Anyone in the world can do it. Anyone in the world can submit their scores. The theoretical idea is we want to find the fittest person on the planet. Here's the test, $20 to get in the pool. Let's go.
Right. And so many CrossFit affiliates make this a really big deal. Yeah. And they'll do like a Friday Night Lights style where the whole gym comes together, which is huge because imagine if you've got like 15 to 20 people per class in 8 classes a day. And instead of saying, yeah, do this on your own time, we're going to do it all together.
Yeah.
Right. It's a hoot. It can be really, really, really enjoyable. But there was one workout it might have been 2017, it might have been 2018, that it was burpee box jump overs, which is put yourself on the ground and then pick yourself off the ground and hop over a 20 to 24 inch box.
And then do it again and again and again.
And again and again and again and again.
It's like sets of 30 or something, wasn't it? Something terrible.
Comboed with a single arm dumbbell snatch, which is basically like, imagine if you had, you're in a full body jumpsuit that has a zipper running from the inside of your foot to the outside of your opposite hand. And you have to zip it up rapidly, but you're holding 35 pounds.
Yeah. Dumbbell goes from the ground to overhead in one fast movement.
One fast motion. There is a tremendous amount of bending, of rotating, and it's very fast and it's very heavy. I think the rep scheme was 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Yep.
And the weight for women was a 35-pound dumbbell. The weight for men was a 50-pound dumbbell. And much of CrossFit happens in a front to back plane, right? Like we are squatting, we are deadlifting, we are lunging, traveling forward, we are doing pull-ups, we are picking the thing up and we are putting the thing down. Yeah. And that had some rotation and working in the transverse plane, which is just a fancy way of saying we're rotating over an object. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was a sponsored athlete by a massage therapist. And I remember the massage therapist reaching out to everybody who was sponsored and being like, hey, everybody's QLs are fucking lit. Make a post about QLs.
Yep.
And for somebody who doesn't know what a QL is, it is a teeny tiny muscle in between your spine and the outside of your body, like in your kind of low to mid back.
A lot of times when you have lower back pain, the QL's involved.
Right. If you have back pain from shoveling on the one side, that's probably your QL, right? Which shoveling is remarkably similar to a dumbbell snatch, right?
Yes, in many ways.
In many ways. I remember at the time, I did the workout twice because I was a fucking idiot at the time. And still sometimes so dumb. Like, why? So that I could move from 12,000th to 11,000th place on the leaderboard? Dumb. And I remember at the time being like, man, heavy dumbbell snatches are really dangerous. Where I can look back at that now and be like, no, you weren't fucking prepared to rotate that much. Like,
Yep.
and none of us were, because it's not a movement that was common.
It's uncommon. It's a big load. It's a staggering amount of volume. That is, I mean, I was involved in the CrossFit Open in some way from the very first CrossFit Open ever, all the way through 2024, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a bunch of them. 10, 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah.
That one workout sticks way out in my mind. It's the most like destructive one, because so many people's, let's generally say, their lower back was blown up because they weren't ready for the rotation. They weren't ready for the volume. And as people got fatigued, even like pretty decent technicians, once they were 95 reps in, they weren't lowering down with a perfectly neutral spine and their eyes straight ahead. They were just bending over and grabbing the weight and flinging it overhead, trying to get through it. So also, all of this flexion that 95% of CrossFit says is a bad idea, don't train like this, we're going to keep a completely rigid spine for almost everything. Now they're just like in this huge amount of loaded flexion and doing it as quickly as they can.
Right. So why does this matter? Right? That's the elusive question. Whether we are dealing with somebody who is saying X is dangerous, or we're in a circumstance where we've been affected by something that has caused some discomfort in our own bodies, or maybe in somebody who you know, and who is saying, yeah, I threw my back out deadlifting, right? Maybe in that moment, it's not the greatest time to be like, is the deadlift dangerous, or were you just underprepared for it? Don't do that. Don't be that person. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
But it offers you an opportunity, particularly when it's yourself, because that is easier to be observational and not a douchebag. To say, like, okay, this is feedback, right? Is this thing truly dangerous? Or are there maybe holes in my program, in the way that I move my body, that I could become better prepared for X thing?
Exactly. Like, is it a bad thing, period? Is it something I'm unprepared for? And then maybe a little bit of like, well, what would be required? What would it take to get prepared for this?
Right.
And is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
And what are we talking about? If it's, well, it hurts to get up out of the chair. The answer probably isn't that getting out of the chair is inherently dangerous. Now, it might be a little dangerous for you right now. You might need support. You might need a higher chair. You might need all kinds of things right now. It's probably worth it.
Yeah.
To do at least some things to try and make that better. If the answer is, well, I want to compete as a professional strongman, the entry point on that is deadlifting, 550 plus pounds for reps out of the gate at an amateur level. What would have to be true for that to happen? Is it worth it to me? Maybe it is. It's worth it to lots of people. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Right. Nobody can answer that but you.
With enough information, right? Like, talk to people who know some stuff about it. I answer questions like this all the time. I routinely get stuff from people like, is this a good idea? Is this true? So-and-so said this is dangerous. It's kind of the opposite of like, so-and-so said this is magic. Well, kind of. Like for one person, it might be. That's probably the perfect program for one person.
Right.
Here's why it might not be the perfect program for you.
Right. Exactly. Right. Hopefully this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it again, that we're both open to having these conversations with people.
Yeah, all the time. I love it.
And we love doing it. And the harsh and unfortunate reality of it is that the answer to almost all of it is it depends. We need some more information. It depends.
Maybe we should have called the podcast It Depends.
It depends.
It comes up all the time.
It's true. It's true. And we've talked about this before as well, that if there are providers, whether they're in fitness or in healthcare, or they're your totally uneducated coworker, friend, relative, etc., who have black and white, hard and fast rules on what's safe, correct, appropriate, dangerous, etc., they're probably full of shit, because that's not true for everybody, right? Like there's inherent risk to quite literally everything that you do. You could choke on your toothpaste tonight and die.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that brushing your teeth is risky.
Correct. But you do need to pay a little bit of attention.
Right.
So yeah, exactly. And that's what, like, this is true for every generalization, right? And including stuff we say. Like, you should get at least this much sleep. You should walk at least this many steps. You should have at least this much activity. That's correct most of the time for most of the people in most cases. It might not be true for you. It might not. You might be a weird special snowflake in some way. You might need a lot more. You might need way more sleep and way more activity just to stay at baseline. You might need a little bit less. But so even that, like, can bend and flex and move to fit you. But if it's a hard and fast, you have to do this, you should never do this, that's probably not true. Like, you're probably doing it for the right reasons, but especially if it's not their expertise, right? If the nutritionist who does not work a lot with physical activity is telling you which physical activity is a bad idea, I would seek out someone who knows a little more about it. Like, you trust them? Sure. Okay, fine. I'm going to ask someone else. If your family, your primary care physician is giving you, honestly, nutrition or movement tips, maybe I would ask someone who knows a little more about it. Because then they can dig in and ask you some more specific questions that the other person just doesn't have the armory to do so.
Right. I'm not going to go and ask my new therapist, who's very, very qualified at the thing she's qualified to do, what the best brand of creatine is.
No, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to ask my endocrinologist. I don't have an endocrinologist. But if I ever had one, I'm not going to ask them, like, what's the greatest supplement? We have to understand what scope is.
Yeah, in the same way, if I would never ask someone, have you ever considered just being present in your relationship and not analyzing it? I would say, how do those shoulder presses feel? They look pretty fast. But it seemed like you zoned out for a second. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't do that. Only ask somebody that question if you are their licensed therapist and they want that from you.
Yes. If there's that magical crossover.
Right.
Don't train your therapist. That's a bad idea. Don't do that.
Please don't train your therapist.
Don't train your therapist. Don't date your therapist. Don't just keep it one version of one thing.
This is anything else you think we should say about, is X dangerous?
I don't think so. There's a lot of, like, examples that come to mind, but I don't know if it's worth delving into. But if there's something that people are hearing this and it jumps to mind, well, I've heard that this is dangerous. If I heard that this is a bad idea,
right?
If I heard, be it a movement or a modality or a thing, the answer is probably it depends. And we're both pretty well equipped to break down, well, that would be dangerous if A, B, or C.
Right.
It's probably not dangerous if A, B, or C. This is how I would build a map, generally for someone who wanted to do something like that.
Right.
And sometimes doing that can really open the door for other things. I just had this, we were talking about running. I just had this with a client recently where I introduced some assisted single leg hops.
Yeah.
And they basically did one set, and I got this is boring and stupid. Why am I doing this? I don't want to do this. This is a waste of my time.
Right.
Legit, totally cool. You've had a ton of knee problems and have expressed you want to get back to running. Someone who could run could do this with ease. So prove that it's easy, and we don't have to spend a ton of time on it. But this has to be easy for the other stuff to happen.
Right.
And I got, a little bit of a scowl, but okay, that makes sense. And we did like 2 more weeks of hopping, and it went great. We moved on.
Totally. You have to have your prerequisites, right? You can't just jump into the graduate level course.
Yeah, and sometimes you can blow right by them. Like, we do this in a setting all the time. Like, can you do this? Oh, okay, then I don't need to do the next 3 things since you can do this. We can go from step 1 to 5 to 8 to 12 to 16 to 20. Oh, step 20 is kind of weird. Okay, we're going to stay at 20, and we're going to, like, progress 20 to 21 to 22.
Yep.
I'm not going to make someone slog through things they don't need to do, but I do need you to prove that it's okay. Because if we just jump to 20 and you should be at 18, then we're in a real problem area.
Totes. I love it. So the definitive answer to is X dangerous? We don't know what X is, and it depends.
Yeah, I don't know, and it depends.
I don't know, and I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We hope this was helpful for you.
Got it? Y'all might need the video for this one because that sound comes with a visual.
It does. It reminds me of frog.
This completely coincidentally, because we didn't talk about this at all, but that section that we just talked about ties in very well to the segment I have planned for today.
Incredible. I can't wait.
It's kind of backwards. I thought you were going to hate it, but now I think you're going to like and appreciate it.
Okay, great.
It's kind of coming at the thing from the other direction. So, I like titling my segments. This one's called, Well, Actually. I'm going to give you some standard, like, gym myths, bro science, shit people say that basically is bullshit.
Sure.
However, what I'm going to present it to you as I am someone who I am a potential client. I'm someone you care about. I'm someone you don't want to be mean to. The only rule I have written down is Weezy, be nice. I'm going to give you the thing. You're going to explain the grain of truth that's in there. I'm going to give you a thing that is mostly bullshit.
Okay.
And you're going to say, well, explain whatever the piece of truth is. And then if you want to tear it apart, you can. Am I making sense?
Are you about to make me speak nicely about raw milk?
No.
Okay, good.
First one. You should stretch before you work out to prevent injury.
Does it feel good?
Oh, yeah.
Does it help you get in a good headspace to move your body?
Yeah, I do it every time before I work out.
Excellent. We just want to make sure that we're not holding for too long or further than feels really, really comfortable. And just know that you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But if you like it and it allows you to transition from not exercise to exercise, sick.
Cool. I like it. Second one. No pain, no gain.
It is true that adaptation requires irritation, meaning that if I don't feel anything, nothing is happening. However, let's just make sure that we're keeping the pain at or under a 4 out of 10 on the scale. Your scale is correct. However, if you need some support with this, if you have to change your breathing pattern to do it because it's so uncomfortable, it might be too much.
I love it. I actually had, as number 3, I had running is bad for your joints in here. But I feel like we've dealt with that fairly ably.
I do feel like that's true.
Skip over it. Next one, you need to do ab work to lose belly fat.
You need to do any amount of work for anything to become stronger. Why specifically is core work and belly fat an area of focus for you?
Well, because I want my belly to look better.
Okay. Do you think it's possible that we can accomplish that with overall strength and not locally targeting the core?
Maybe, but I want my core to look good. So shouldn't I just work on my core?
You can. And the core is a key component of many, many, many other things that we can do a lot at once. Because I know that your time is relatively short. Would you rather spend 15 minutes on only and exactly core work? Or what if we could design something that is 15 minutes long that works a lot more and stresses your core just as much and gets you the result that you want?
It's pretty good. I actually had that exact conversation 2 hours ago with a fairly new client.
I believe that.
And basically said the same thing.
Yeah.
You need to eat 6 small meals a day to keep your metabolism fired up.
What is fired up?
Burning. If you eat 6 small meals, like you're always digesting, you're more likely to burn more fat more quickly.
Is digestion an on-off switch?
No.
Okay. So then is it possible that the reason why you are experiencing hunger 6 times a day is because the meals themselves are not big enough to keep you full for longer than 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you like eating 6 small meals a day?
No, it's really annoying.
Sick. Do you want to try eating 3 larger meals and see what changes?
I like it.
Cool. Let's try.
I've got 2 or 3 more. We have slightly shifted from you kindly convincing me to get out of it and not leading with what's true about the claim. So
I don't like that. You're asking me to do something I don't want to do, Justin.
There is truth in there. Like, what's the reason it would work? What's the reason? Where did it come from? What did they say? Why is it real? And Weezy away.
I hate your segment.
Thank you. That's what I said. I said you were going to hate this. Next one. You need to confuse your muscles. You should change your workout every session, basically, or you'll plateau.
I imagine you probably really like feeling sore as feedback that the work that you're doing is working. And there's pretty good research to support that the best way to see long-term progress is to do somewhat of the same things with some variations in stuff like how heavy and how slowly and how far we go. And so I agree that we should be making changes pretty consistently. However, what if the changes, instead of moving into a completely different movement, we are changing a variable of the movement and giving it some time to cook?
Yeah, I like it. Last 2.
Was that better?
Oh, this is how we talk to people. If someone came to you and said,
Is it?
It is, and you know it is. Next one. Squatting past parallel is bad for your knees.
That might be true. Have you been into a public restroom recently?
Yes.
Did you sit down?
Yes.
You squatted below parallel. Do your knees hurt?
No.
Excellent. Then we should probably make sure that that full range of motion is as strong as it could be so that you're prepared to use any number of toilets that you might encounter in the wild.
Any number of toilets. All right, last one. A personal favorite. Never eat carbs after 6 p.m.
This is bullshit. Oh, I hate this one. Never eat carbs after 6 p.m. It might be important that we're monitoring overall intake of your macronutrients, and carbs is a macronutrient. However, I would want to make certain that if that's your hard and fast rule, that it is not affecting your life in other ways, right? If you're not opting out of things that you would really like to participate in because you're afraid of maybe being presented with a carb that then will tempt you to break your rule. And I would also want to make certain, because carbohydrates are the fuel that make the car that is your body go vroom vroom. We want to make sure that we are getting enough throughout the rest of the day. And so if that is a rule that you have for yourself that allows you to feel successful and doesn't make your life smaller, cool. I'm great with it. But we need to make sure, 1, it's not making your life smaller, and 2, that you are getting adequate fuel so your car can go vroom vroom.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. That was well, actually.
Hated it.
Yeah, I know. But people come. I had yesterday, the day before, a client who may well listen to this sent me the, hey, what do you think about intermittent fasting message? And I was like, I know about it. What do you want to know? And some reasonably significant weight loss is one of their goals. I said, well, that's the only thing that's worked for me before, more or less. I'm kind of obfuscating and shortening things.
Sure.
I said, okay, well, what was it? Like, tell me about it. Like, oh, well, I buckled down and did it real hard for like 9 months or something. And it was awful, but it worked. And I said,
did it?
Aha, exactly. I said, aha. Well, here's the thing. I have found intermittent fasting works really well for a few people. For some reason, and I don't know why, it is overwhelmingly men over 40. I have no idea why. But in my limited anecdotal, non-scientific experience, there's a segment of men over 40 who seem to respond like gangbusters to intermittent fasting. It works great. It's a game changer. They've never felt better. They've got all this energy. Their dick is hard all the time. It's amazing. But for a lot of people, it sucks and it's hard and you're white knuckling until the next meal.
Right. Then what?
Yeah, there are basically no benefits to intermittent fasting as compared to any other kind of calorie deficit at all.
Right.
Save this. There's some weird outliers who like seem to derive a bunch of energy from it. We don't know why.
Right.
But if it is awesome and it makes you feel good and it's totally cool, great. Awesome. High five. You're not like also doing meth or something, right? Great. Double high five. Carry on. But if it's fucking awful and torture, then as soon as we pull out of it, we're going to reverse gear hard, fast, and unpleasant, which is what happened to this person.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it worked, but I just couldn't hold on to it. Sick. It didn't work.
It didn't work. It was not.
It was not real.
Thing. Yeah.
Right.
You just starved yourself for a while. And once you do that, the bad news is you starving yourself the next time won't work the same way because bodies are cruel and they have a memory. And now we're really creating a trap you can fall into.
Right. I see that conversation happening quite a bit around GLPs now.
Oh, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Sure.
And sometimes at the same time. I've absolutely having conversations now with people who are on GLP-1s and trying to figure out the diet that goes with it because they're not responding as fast as they want or as well as they want, or like what are some other levers I can pull?
Eye symptoms.
Yeah. And like, yeah. Before we go nuts, because there's some really cool stuff we can do. I want your step count for the past 14 days. Right. And then they get real quiet. I'm like, I know it's so boring. It's so boring. I know it's so boring.
I know.
But these are the big levers we can pull that are actually going to have a big impact before I start caring how much turmeric you're putting in your fucking coffee and making it worse. Like, let's look at the stuff that's actually going to have an impact.
Oh, God, that would make coffee worse.
Almost anything you put in, I believe, almost anything you put in coffee makes it worse.
You're a little bit of a Puritan in that regard.
I like just coffee. Like I take my coffee black, but this isn't against like if you do lattes or you milk or cream or sugar sweetener, like all that's kind of fine. I don't think it makes it better, but that's your thing. If you do that and add protein powder or coconut oil or any of the other nonsense that comes up, like it's usually going to taste worse and have so little added benefit that you're like, oh, like, now I'm sad.
Right.
I could have just had coffee and had the other thing.
I think that collagen mixes really, really, really well into coffee. And I have some friends who have tried to do that and have said, this is fucking disgusting. How do you do this? I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't notice a difference. And I think it froths up really nice. Yeah. So, but we're not going to yuck each other's yums. Yeah. We're not going to do that.
I do that with, if I'm taking, like, I'll take a protein powder and some, like, I'll do a pre-workout carbohydrate sometimes, like some powdered Gatorade or just sucrose or whatever.
Yep.
If I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, I will put the chocolate protein powder and the ice blue Gatorade and the creatine and the Metamucil fiber powder all in the same shaker cup. Shake it all up, drink it down, and be incredibly happy.
Oh my God.
It's not like dessert, but 0% of me has to force it. I'm like, nom, 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 nom. Great, off to workout. When I tell this to people, they make the faces you just made, like, what are you doing? How could you do that? I'm like, well, I'm not really thinking about it. I don't expect it to be good as part of it. Like, I don't pick my supplements because they're the tastiest supplement. I just pick them because they do the thing I want them to do, which I know makes me sound like a little bit of some kind of like stoic nihilist or something. But yeah, it's totally fine. It's great. And then one shaker cup, no, all done.
No, what you just described reminds me of like 9-year-old Weezy making mud soup in the forest.
It's exactly that.
That is disgusting.
But then you drink it and then you go work out.
No, I think I'd lose the will to work out and also live.
Yeah. That's why it's not a thing I suggest people do, but it is what I do. I'm not saying this is going to be fun, but it really works for me.
The Justin McClintock story.
I was going to say. That also used to be my pickup line 25 years ago.
Wow, what a wonderful note to end on. Team, this has been Training Partners. I'm Weezy Shoemaker. That's Justin Mud Soup McClintock. We will see you next time.
Later, gang.
It's time for the Training Partners. Here come your training partners. So smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready to laugh and learn with our new best friend surprise. It's time for the training partners. Here come your training partners. So smart, so strong, so funny. Let's go with your training partners. We're ready to shine.